this Monday night, the day before the big week for college basketball, the SWAC basketball tournament. Glad you can join us here on 91.7 WPRL and on WPRL.org. Glad you could join us here. You've heard from Lady Braves head coach Courtney Pruitt as the Lady Braves get set to take on Southern University. Time is 5:30. 5:30 with the tip-off. And we will have updates after the 6 o'clock hour. We'll have the live play-by-play. Chris Powers, my buddy down at Southern, will have the call, so you'll get a chance to check that out. And then we'll have live cut-ins throughout the breaks of men's basketball. Now we turn our attention to Braves head men's basketball coach Montez Robinson, Coach of the Year in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The Braves are a 2 seed, and they will take on the number 7 seed Mississippi Valley tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Coach, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad I can be here.
Well, I tell you what, the coaches did something different. I don't know if the policy has changed, but it was regular season or tournament champ would be the men's coach of the year. And maybe it's been a change in attitude. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it happened, but typically whoever won the regular season or the tournament is the men's coach of the year. So obviously maybe a change of heart or change in philosophy perhaps.
I guess so. Very, very thankful and very grateful to achieve this. But this, you don't win a coach's award without your staff and without your players. So, this award is on behalf of those guys and all the work and what my staff and what my players did for me to achieve this goal. So I take this with all of those right there with me.
Yeah, and it was a great year. I mean, it came down to one of the best SWAC games you'll ever want to see, in the Alcorn Texas Southern game. In overtime, we were right there. We were up 13. They came back. We were probably a minute away from losing it in regulation. We took it in overtime. We pushed them to the brink. There's no question about that.
Well, definitely, I was really pleased with the effort from just the tip, what the guys were giving. It's one of those situations where neither team wanted to lose it. And, if it was a situation where both teams could have won, then we would have both won that night. Because the guys, they gave it 110% and just really left it out on the line. Just a couple calls, a couple things didn't go our way, and we fell a little short. But it was just really pleased with it. Just was blessed to be in that situation where we had the opportunity to win the championship. Regular season championship.
He had Mike Davis on his knees coaching. I don't know if he was praying, begging, or coaching, or maybe all three.
Man, he's the best, man. He was doing a little politicking over there.
Got teed up?
Man, he had a couple of them on pins and needles, and that's his thing. He's going to get into the game and get it intense, and he's going to try to make the refs swallow the whistle a little bit on their end. So he did a good job of that. It just that was part of his chess match, and he won that one.
Working the refs, how often, and that's a phrase that coaches use, what's your philosophy when it comes to that? I mean, I guess most games you don't want to do it, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do for your team.
I think you got to politic a little bit. I'm just a firm believer. Just call it fairly. Just call it the same way on both ends. Because both coaches, both teams, all of the players, everybody want to win a game. But you want to win a game where, they actually want it, but not with a certain call or anything like that. And then being an official is a tough job. I admire those guys to be in the situation that they are, where your folks' livelihoods are on the line, and they got to make the call or do different things to take a championship away from a young man or push it to another direction. So, it's a 50-50 game. I give them a lot of credit for what they do. So I try not to house them too much. But, I'm going to let them know, my opinion in a lot of different ways. They're going to hear from me. But, I'm not going to the fact of other coaches. That's just not me.
We had a terrific season, despite what happened in the last couple of games. I mean, there's no question it was a great season. We were pushing number 1 Texas Southern. Disappointing loss to Prairie View, obviously, but that's behind us. We get ready for the postseason. Nonetheless, a special season. What made this year, what made this group such a special group and a special year?
My seniors, man. They came in, the returners from last year. I had 2 returners from last year. Well, 3 scholarship players from last year. Reginald Johnson, DeAndre Davis, and Marquise Vance. And we brought in Denzel Doolin as that fifth year grad transfer. So I had Denzel Doolin, Marquise Vance, and DeAndre Davis. Those guys came in from day one, from August, which most of those guys were here in the summer, the second summer session B, and they just set a tone. They set the tone just on and off the court, how we're going to be, how we want to play. We're not the discipline that, I didn't really have to get on a lot of guys, knock on wood, to this point. No mishaps. They really set a tone. And that's what it does. It's senior leadership. And I think that started last year with the 6 seniors that I had last year. And Jamarshall Wilson, Keenan Pittman, Patrick Awanu, Terrell Hunt, Devontae Hampton, and Trey Brown. With those guys, they started to, one of the things when I first took the job here, we sit down and talked about, what do you guys want? What do you guys want to achieve? What do you want your legacy to be? This is the way you set the tone for the guys that follow you the next year, so they have something to look forward to, and they want to achieve just as much as you did. So it started with those guys. And, I got a lot of calls saying, congrats, coach, for winning the coach of the year, and you should have won it last year. They were saying those type of things. But they set the tone. Then DeAndre Davis, Marquise Vance, and Denzel Doolin, they set a tone. So I'm just hoping, we can continue with that, and my seniors next year continue with the trend and want to set a tone, and that's how you build a program. That's how you build a tradition, and we get it back to where everybody wants it to get back when Coach Whitney had it, but that's how you do it.
And how long does it take a program? You've been a part of programs. People say it takes 4 years, 5 years, whatever the case. Does it take that long?
I mean, for most cases it does. This was a blessing, dealing with what we were up under, the APR situation, not being able to go to a postseason. And that's hard to get kids up and motivated to play. It's hard to recruit in that aspect of when you don't have a postseason. I'm really blessed that the conference allows the teams to play in the conference tournament because they don't necessarily have to. And they were supposed to be voting on not allowing that. And I hope they never go to that because I don't want anybody to have to deal with that stress on that end that we were going to, because you don't know. And but that goes back to what the seniors, this is their postseason. They're looking at it and they want to achieve something. They want to achieve the goals that we set out to achieve.
There are some whispers about that the presidents might vote for, if you're on postseason ban, you can't go to the conference tournament, and you've been pretty outspoken. It's just whispers. Nothing has been decided as of yet, but it's something that's been talked about back and forth over the last couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes. Coach, we talked with Coach Pruitt in the last segment. We got an email question for Coach Pruitt and for yourself from Dr. Roger Gines. Talk about the injured players that we had this year, and will they be eligible to return next year?
Yes, we had 3 guys out. Rahman Katabusi, Kobe Wilson, and Taquaylin Smith. And all of those guys, they're young guys, freshmen and sophomores, so that they will be back. They were nursing some really deep, just painful injuries, and they had all year, and they still dealing with those guys, those injuries. So they will definitely be back, and I'll be glad to have them. That definitely brings depth to my lineup, and it will definitely help us.
Cantabusi was a guy, when he was healthy, he could stretch the defense, because you leave him alone, he can knock down the 3 that stretches the defense and makes it a little easier for other perimeter guys or get some inside stuff.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those guys that, when he was out there, that I always had 3 to 4 shooters out there at a time, and that were lights out, that was shooting over 30, 36, 37% from the 3. So it's going to be a blessing to get him back healthy. But he's definitely, all those guys, man, they've been the biggest cheerleaders that anybody can ever ask for. And they've been in practice, cheering the guys on, pushing the guys on. They've been on the bench, on the sidelines. What you don't want is when guys are out to be a distraction. And those 3 guys, they've been more of a help and a blessing to the team. So glad we got them, but kind of hate that you don't have them with you in uniform, dressed.
We had an 11-game winning streak going into the Texas Southern game, then we lost that game and the Prairie View game. What was the talk the last 72 hours? last 48 hours, actually, from Saturday's game at Prairie View, the Texas Southern game, and putting that behind you, getting ready to start another streak?
The guys and everybody know, they gave it all against the Texas Southern game. We kind of came in the Prairie View game, I thought the first 20 minutes a little bit flat. Not to say we weren't going hard or anything, because we were, but, and those guys shot the lights out. You make 9 threes in a half, and, we're out there with a hand in their face. It was just their night. They were at home. They were playing for hopefully the 4th seed of home game, and, so it was just, they had a lot going for them in that game. And so the first half, they just shot it incredible. And, we came out in that second half and held them to 2 3-pointers. They only made 11 for the game, and we only held to 22 or 24 points. And with a 44 or 42-point half, and you only come back out and score 22 or 24, we did what we had to do. We just didn't take care of business in that first half. And we can't have, like tomorrow's game, we can't have a half or a 10-minute or a 4-minute or 3-minute segment where, we're on a lull. We got to continue just to stay consistent the whole game, whatever it may be. Just try to stay even.
It's halfway through the Montez Robinson Show. The Braves will take on Mississippi Valley tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Come and join us. Should be a great atmosphere. Mississippi Valley and Alcorn, the 2 teams split. We wanted their place. They wanted our place. We had a lead in the game here. They won 84-77. And then we kind of beat up Valley from the perimeter. The threes were falling. Reginald Johnson got hot. And Valley was on the brink of not making the tournament. They won their last 3, and they're in. Not only are they in, they're a 7th seed. Alabama State, a lot of folks thought, and I did too, coming into Saturday's game at Prairie View, that we were looking at Bama State no matter what, but Bama State lost to Jackson State. They slipped to the 8th seed, and they'll take on Texas Southern tomorrow, while we'll take on Mississippi Valley. So we'll be talking about that in a few moments. We'll take a break. We'll talk about the all-conference team. Of course, the Coach of the Year, Montez Robinson, Reginald Johnson, and others on the postseason team. We'll talk about that after this 1-minute timeout. We'll be right back.
That's the horn. At the radio station, on the radio. I'll be off in about 15 minutes. Okay.
Huh?
Turn it up.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay.
We're on break. All right, Charles Edmond here, halfway through the Montez Robinson Show as the Braves get set to take on Mississippi Valley. We're going to talk about Marcus Romaine. We're going to talk about T.J. Henry, Isaac Williams, and company. We'll be talking about that in a few moments. But, Coach, a couple of players made the all-conference team, Q and Monster. Talk about it.
I was really excited for those guys. I thought they deserved it. I thought we was really close to getting a couple other ones in there. They just fell short, but those guys, they've been here the longest. Marquise, this is his senior year, has been here 4 years, and Reginald Johnson, Monster's been here 3 years. So they've seen the ups and the downs of Alcorn basketball. So just was really see their hard work just come to tuition and pay off for them. Just really excited for those guys.
Yeah, Reginald Johnson, Mr. Basketball in the state of Louisiana coming out of high school. Glad to get him, glad to have him, glad he's on our side because he is just, no matter where he is on the floor, the game slows down for him and he's going to get his.
Oh man, he's a scoring machine. Whether he plays 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20, he's going to get double figures. That's just what he does. He's a matchup problems for, not just for our league, but just for any league, as well as Marquise Vance. You got two guys that Monster 6'5", 265, and Marquise Vance 6'7", 265. and that's limber, has limber feet. You know, they got ballerina toes, and those guys can move. And I mean, they're a matchup problem for anybody. And definitely blessed to have them. Glad we got them, and got to use them. Got to use them a lot tomorrow.
And then talk about Vance finally getting the recognition. I mean, a guy that can hit the three. There have been, 3 or 4 games. I was just thinking earlier today, how many games in tight situations down the stretch in which Marquise Vance has hit big shots. Bama State, Jackson State twice, Southern. I mean, the list goes on.
Oh yeah, I call him Big Shot Vance. It's kind of like Robert Horry made those shots with Houston.
Big Shot Bob.
Yeah, he made it for the Lakers. He made it for San Antonio. Yeah. You name it, he was making them, and we call him Big Shot Vance because in crucial situations he's going to come up with something, and he definitely he's a fear factor for the opposing team. Whether he's scoring points, so he's going to give them a problem with his assists, with his rebounding. You got to account for him in some form or fashion. And, in those crucial situations, you may see his butt diving on the floor, getting loose balls, 50-50 balls. He wants to win. He wants to see this university have some success. He wants people to be proud of this university. He wants people to be proud of him. He wants people to be proud of the program. He's really, because he had the choice to leave. He could have, with the APR, different things that we went up under. In his senior year this year, he had the choice to go to another university and compete, but he chose to stick it out and play. So just really thankful for that from and DeAndre Davis as well, all of these seniors. DeAndre Davis was really close to getting Defensive Player of the Year, and just fell a little short. I really thought if we win the Texas Southern game, DeAndre Davis is Defensive Player of the Year, and Maurice Howard is Freshman Player of the Year. But we didn't win it, so it went to Marvin Jones and Jefferson over at Texas Southern. So we were close in a lot of different categories.
Following up on our email question, part 2 of the email from Dr. Gines. He says, how is recruiting looking for next season? Do we think we're able to sign some individuals that will have a real presence in the middle? Of course, Vance and DeAndre Davis. This is their last go-round.
Yeah, we're definitely we out on this road. We're beating the bushes. We're trying to find. We're on a lot of good players in the state of Mississippi, as well as the neighboring states, and a couple players out in California, some kids in New York. We're hitting it hard. That's the bloodline to continue to have some success. Is getting good kids in to replace the kids that you lose. We signed a really good player out of Laurel High School in Laurel, Mississippi. Tremaine Crosby, really good 6'5" player, can really score and can just a versatile. So he'll definitely be able to step in and get some minutes early with Denzel Doolin leaving. But we still on the hunt. We signed another big man as well in the early signing period. We're waiting on a couple things to come through him, so we can definitely get him 6'10". But we're on the hunt. We got three more big guys to pick up. We got to pick up 3 more bigs to replace DeAndre Davis and Marquise Vance. So we're definitely on the hunt trying to find those guys.
All right, we appreciate the emails and the tweets. We're going to take a time out here and let's dig into Mississippi Valley. The Delta Devils, the number 7 seed, 7 and 11 in conference play. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back after this timeout. Was I interrupting?
No.
How did the A Club thing go? Talk about that.
Oh, it was good. Came out, some pulled pork sandwiches, some chicken wings, and baked beans, and mashed potatoes. Potato salad. It was good. It was good. Good for the guys to get out and see the support coming from the line.
We'll talk about that and then talk about Valley. All right, welcome back. 52 minutes after the hour here on the Montez Robinson program. Going to get into Mississippi Valley in a moment, but Coach, the A Club sponsored a cookout for your team just before you came over here. Talk about how that went and just getting everyone excited about the big game here tomorrow.
Just really thankful for the alumni athletic booster club to come out and just and feed the guys, to show the support and show that they really care about and doing what they've been doing all year, just supporting us. And they wanted to prepare a meal, so we're just really thankful for them. And it's always good to get together and just hear the guys just laugh and just joke around and talk about just other stuff other than basketball sometimes, So it was really good. We really appreciate it, really thankful for the A Club for doing that.
Of course, the game's at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tickets are $15 for adults, $10 for children between the ages of 6 and 12, and children under 5 get in free. Don't miss your chance, students, to win one of 2 $100 gift cards from Sodexo. Must be present to win. So a lot going on. The band will be there tomorrow. So let's look at Mississippi Valley, 7 and 11. They won their last 3 to get in the tournament. I had written them off, Coach. No question about it. The way they were playing, I thought they weren't going to make it. But then they found their stride. They won their last 3 games, and here they are. Not only are they in, but they're a number 7 seed, and they're a team that gives us fits. I mean, we were able to knock down shots. I think we took the life out of them up at Mississippi Valley, but then we were up 8 or 9 in the first half. They kept chipping away. They got hot from beyond the arc, and they won 84-77 here at our place. So as we look at the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils, let's talk about matchups. They go small. I mean, they spread you. This is a game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they're a scrappy bunch. It just seems like that they give all of the teams with size a fit because they're scrappy, small, they press, they get up under you, just do a lot of things, and they're coming for 40 minutes. And really got to control the ball, make sure we're taking care of the tempo and the paces that are where we want it to be. We got guys coming back to the ball in those trap areas, but they're a good team. Like you said, it's hard to count out a team like that, but they fought back. That's it's a testament of a good coach over there, and he has some good singers. He has 6 singers, and they really can play. So we're ready for them, and we got to take care of business and do what we've been doing all year, which is controlling what we can control, and that's ourselves.
You look at Isaac Williams. He's averaged 16.5 points a game against us during the 2 games during the regular season. He's a handful.
He shoots the cover off the ball. You can't give him open look. I told the guys, we got to know what his breath smells like tomorrow. We got to be there on the catch, and you tell him, if you need a piece of gum or if he doesn't. It's kind of like on that commercial, I've enjoyed your breath since 26th Street. So, we definitely got to be there with him. And, he's an old school throwback wing. He picks his spots. He likes to get to the elbow of the free throw line and right there and pull up. He's 6'5", can really jump high on his jump shot. And they move the ball well, and he's going to take it when he's open. And if you give him open look, he's going to knock him down. So we can't give him open look tomorrow.
Marcus Romaine, 30 points in a couple of games this season. He had 30 in the second meeting. He was 14 of 14 from the free throw line. He seems to elevate his game when his back's against the wall and when he needs to rescue his team.
Great player. Really one of the best scoring guards in the league off the dribble. He's really slithery and slippery when he gets in. He knows how to contort his body to get around, big guys in there, and he just knows how to score the ball. It's just one of those just situations where you're like, man, how did he make that shot and how did he get it off? But he just seems to do it. And our job tomorrow is, I'm letting the guys know it's simple. Just keep it simple. Stay between them and the basket. And contest it and make it tough whenever they take a shot. And we only can allow one attempt at the basket. Can't give them second chance attempts. And I think if we're able to do that, we'll be fine.
They've averaged 80 points a game in the last couple. When you look at their offense, Coach, I mean, they seem to be streaky. I mean, when, you know, we were up 8 or 9 on them early here, and they were out of sorts, and then all of a sudden they started knocking down the threes, and before you know it, they were back in the game, and they had the lead on us and had our backs against the wall. So if you get them on the wrong end of it, you got to keep them down. There's no question.
Most definitely, that's one of those teams you got to keep your foot on the throat. You can't let them back up. You got to hold them down until that horn sounds at the end of the game. Because if you give them any sense of light, they're going to come out of it.
Reginald Johnson has averaged 27.5 points per game versus Valley in the 2 meetings, plus 7 on the boards in the game against Valley during the season. So we got to do a good job on the glass and keeping them to one shot and just defend.
Oh yeah, and with Monster playing the way he's playing, you know, they're going to be coming in. He's a mark man. He's definitely going to be a mark man, and we've been working on some different things, and he's going to have to get the ball out of his hands when he sees the double team coming, repost and readjust. You know, it's not going to be a situation where we're going to have to ISO and throw it to him. He's not going to get that. And just on the defensive end, you know, we're going to have to do a great job as a team. It's not going to be a one-man thing. It's going to have to be a group effort and not give up any transition points.
Coach, I got a call when we left Houston. I left something in Houston. I got to go back and get it, but I want to go back for a purpose.
I'm with you too.
I don't want to make a blank trip to Houston.
I left a bad taste in Houston, so I want to go back and get a good taste as well. You know, I left. What's that song? So, you know, we're excited about this opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, I've been trying to keep the guys even keel, and which they have been even keel, and not get ahead of themselves, and not start thinking about the next game. You know, nothing's promised to us. We can't take anybody lightly, and this is definitely not a team that you take lightly. And our players, they know this is not a team that you take lightly because of just the way they play. You know, they're the only team in the league that play this way. So it's not like you're seeing them for every night out. You're seeing this style every night out. You don't see it a lot. So it's something that you have to try to implement and get up for in practice. But it's hard to assimilate the way they come after you. You know, so you got to do it to the best of your ability, and just hope what you're doing is going to show in the game on the next day.
Tip off at 6 o'clock. Coach, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
That'll do it for the Montez program, the Montez Robinson Radio Show. I'm Charles Edmond. Thank you for joining us here on WPRL, the WPRL.org. Courtney Pruitt in the first half hour, Montez Robinson in this half hour. We're going to repost these programs. If you've missed some or all of them, they'll be available shortly. I'm Charles Edmond. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long.
Thank you.